And Howard, I beg your indulgence on this because I do have a follow-up question. It's more philosophical, but I think this is a good example of what the point I was trying to get at here with this question. Do you see your representation on the county legislature as more representation of the taxpayers in wards 1 and 6 or Genesee County as a whole? Here is an issue that you might be able to say, well, gee, the construction of 2 athletic fields at no cost with grant money would be a great thing for Genesee County. But the constituents in my district are opposed to it. How do you approach that? I'll start with you, Bob. How do you approach your level of representation? Do you think first of the taxpayers in your district or the county as a whole?
I don't think that there is a generic way to answer that question. I think it always has to be a combination of both. And I think it always depends on, what the needs are and what the information that we have at hand is to make the decision. I think you always have to remember that, you're elected by a group of people that expect you to represent them. And you can never forget that. On the other hand, you have a duty to the county. So it's a balancing act. Everything is always a balancing act in politics.
Rosemary, who comes first, your constituents or the county as a whole?
My constituents are going to come first. There's no doubt about it. My constituents have always come first in the 6th ward no matter what. So being that said, it definitely would be the 1st ward and the 6th ward. No doubt in my mind. They're going to be first.
We are talking to Rosemary Christian and Robert Radley. They are candidates for Genesee County Legislature District 7, which is Batavia City Wards 1 and 6. We'll continue with the questions now with Howard Owens. Howard.
All right, thank you. So turning to the construction of the DePaul Center on East Main Street. Now, this is a project that is in your district, the district you seek to represent. Judging by the comments that we've seen on the Batavia in the last couple of days, a lot of people were not aware of the true nature of what this project was going to be and how it was going to happen and how it was funded, or the funding mechanism. Considering the fact, the scope of this project, $6 million, the type of project it is, it's a nonprofit, so there's no property tax, but they are paying $12,000 in lieu of taxes. And Rosemary, we'll start with you. Is $12,000 really sufficient to cover what the impact that this project is going to have on the community?
Absolutely not. I have been against a lot of the pilot programs. The fact that the pilot program is in lieu of taxes, that is a $6.6 million project. They should have paid at least 3 times that. We just had another business that sold that is only going to pay $12,000 in taxes. It's absolutely ridiculous. I do, and I hope that we will have representation from the city onto the GEDC board. I mean, this is absolutely absurd, the tax breaks that they are giving out, and it's hurting the whole state, period, but especially our county.
So I just want to follow up on that point. Are you suggesting that, I believe the county legislature has a representative on the GC's board, are you suggesting that as the county legislature you'll push for city representation there too?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I have 2 people in mind. One would be Bill Cox, because he's very astute to businesses and how businesses are run. The other gentleman would probably be Bob Bayakowski, that I would support, simply because of the fact he's been involved with county for many, many years.
Right. So, Bob, address the initial question. We'll also give you a chance to talk about the point Rosemary brought up as far as city representation on the GCEDC.
I guess with respect to the first question, it's certainly difficult to say. I mean, that seems like an awful small amount for a project of that magnitude. If you just look at, basically what you would expect to receive in tax revenue. I'm sure that the Economic Development Agency takes a look at the job creation and what it means to the overall economy, and I do not have that information to be able to look at that, to be able to, I think, render what I would consider to be a reasonable opinion. The only thing I can say is, first blush, that seems awful low. with respect to representation on the GCEDC, I don't see any reason why that wouldn't make some sense for them to be able to have input from the city when a lot of the projects that they have affect the city. So it seems like a reasonable idea to me.
Thank you.
Batavia city government, the school system, other municipal governments have an opportunity for public comment at the beginning of their meetings. The Genesee County Legislature does not. It is not an agenda item. Rosemary, should it? And if you're elected, would you push for that?
Absolutely, I would push for it. I've been one of them that have been rejected to saying anything in the beginning of a county meeting, which is absolutely absurd, because when you stifle the people, then what are you doing here? Why is that? They don't want to hear what you have to say. As you know, I am a very straightforward person. A lot of people don't like it, but I can't help that. I'm going to tell it the way it is. And yes, I would be in favor of that.
Bob, is the opportunity sufficient with county government for an average citizen to make their points known? Should there be an opportunity for public comment?
I would always support an opportunity to hear the public. Those are the people that elect us. We represent them, and we should hear what they have to say.
We have about 2 minutes left. Howard, do you have a short question for our candidates?
This can probably have a short answer to it. There's a committee looking at the possibility of changing the terms of the county legislature, going to 4-year terms and staggering the elections so that not all 9 seats come up for election every 2 years. Bob, we'll start with you. Is that a change that you would support?
Sure, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if the event occurred where you turn the entire legislature over, there's no history there. Everyone's on a learning curve. I think that would make a tremendous amount of sense.
Great. So, Rosemary, what's your position on that?
I certainly would be in favor of it, and the reason being is that there's so much knowledge and there's so much to comprehend that it does take you a while. And apparently, the county legislature has a lot more with the committees and the subcommittees and everything else. I mean, that would be actually a learning curve too for me. It's something that it would take a while to absolutely absorb. So, I would be in favor of it.
I want to thank our guests, Rosemary Christian and Robert Radley. They are candidates for Genesee County Legislature District 7, representing the City of Batavia Wards 1 and 6. Bob and Rosemary, best of luck to you.
Thank
and
you.
And thanks very much for coming in. This is Dan Fisher along with Howard Owens. We want to thank you for joining us on this Candidates Forum from AM 1490 WBTA.